I'm Captain Naya Ortiz, U.S. Army 12A Engineer Officer. My job is simple on paper. Plan, build, fix, and when the plan fails, bridge the gap. Discipline, brevity, accountability. That's the whole playbook. I didn't come home for a fight. I came because my battalion was running a stateside training cycle 2 towns over, and the county fair committee asked for a military outreach demo. A few dump trucks, a dozer, some school kids oohing at equipment. Easy PR. My father, Councilman Rafael Ortiz, liked the optics. He called it community pride. I heard campaign season. The parade route curved past the new footbridge, my brother's company's gift to the town. He'd raised a banner over it with his logo. I'd seen the photos online. Back at Christmas, when I tried to talk about a route clearance mission we'd run in the desert, he tapped the image on his phone and said, "See, sis? Real impact." Then he told me my job looked like adult Legos. I let it go. Mission first. Feelings later. The morning of the fair, rain came sideways. Not dramatic at first, just mean. By noon the creek was a river and the river was a blunt instrument. Sirens stitched through the wind. I was finishing a safety brief for our display when the sheriff's deputy skidded into the lot, gravel rattling the fenders. "Captain Ortiz?" he shouted through the rain. "Bus stalled on the south bank. Bridge. Part of it's gone." I felt the little click in my head that has nothing to do with family and everything to do with work. Priorities sort themselves. My team knows the look. We moved. For civilians reading this, we use short radio words because panic wastes time. SITREP means, what's the situation right now? FRAGO is a quick order that updates the plan. REDCON 1 means ready to move in 1 minute. I called battalion. Requesting DSA authority. I said, defense support of civil authorities, the boring legal box you check before soldiers touch anything off post. Took 10 minutes of staff magic. While they worked the paperwork, I worked the problem. We turned the fairgrounds parking lot into a CP command post. Sawhorses became a map table. A poncho became a roof. My platoon sergeant ran TCPs, traffic control points, with local volunteers. An EMT briefed me fast. School bus on the far side, engine flooded, 24 kids, a driver with a heart like a drum. The new footbridge sheared at its mid-span, one concrete abutment already tilting like a loose tooth. My father arrived under a golf umbrella. My brother came with him, hair perfect, sleeves rolled tight to show the watch. "This is county infrastructure," my father said. "Stay clear while we coordinate." "The bus is infrastructure," I said. "So are the kids." Kept my voice even. The deputy, to his credit, didn't wait for a debate. "Captain, show me what you need," he said. We moved. My MS is to turn chaos into checklists. On paper that sounds sterile. In a storm it looks like calm. We had 2 bridging options within an hour's haul, a dry support bridge DSB, and a medium girder bridge MGB. Both are modular. Think giant erector set but with tolerances you feel in your teeth. The DSB can span longer, faster, but it's heavier to stage. Water level was rising. The banks were slick and narrow. I chose the MGB. Faster footprint. Less mess. "FRAGO to platoons," I said into the handset. "Redirect from demo yard. Bring MGB pallets, pins, jacks, cribbing, the whole picnic. PP standard. No heroes. On the net, copy Wilco. Wilco means will comply." While the trucks rolled, I walked the bank with my squad leaders. A high schooler in a soaked hoodie hovered near me, arms wrapped tight. "My sister's on that bus," he said, teeth chattering. He wasn't crying. He'd already decided he wouldn't. I gave him something to hold. "Hey," I said. "You're on my runner team." Runner. A person who carries messages when radios fail and pulls anything that needs an extra set of hands. "You see the guy in the bright vest? That's Sergeant Perez. If he says move back, you move back. If he says duck, you duck. Clear." "Clear," he said, and straightened like a string got pulled. My brother kept hovering near my shoulder, filming. "Do you even have authority to touch a county road?" he asked. "If something goes wrong." "If something goes wrong, we keep working," I said. "You can send a bill to the storm." Our flatbeds arrived chewing up mud. Soldiers spilled off in a practiced choreography I didn't teach them. The army did. A stack of aluminum panels taller than me thumped onto cribbing blocks. We staged launch rollers on the near bank. A soldier handed me a cup of black coffee from a thermos that tasted like carbon and relief. I took 2 sips and handed it back. We built from the near bank out, nose to the far, one panel at a time, a ladder growing sideways over a temper tantrum of water. Every connection gets 2 pins and 2 retaining clips. It's tedious. Tedious keeps people alive. My father tried again, voice pitched low. Naya, stop. You're going to make this worse. He said my name like it was an accusation. I didn't answer. I was counting pins. The wind took a breath. The bus shifted and a small hand went up in the fogged window. Sergeant Perez saw it too. They're watching you, he said. Good, I said. Then let's show them the standard. We reached the far bank just as the river snapped at the last panel like it knew our plan. Soldiers leaned into the last push. The bridge ceded with a metallic sigh I felt through the soles of my boots. We pinned it down like a promise. Sitrep, MGB complete. Load test with 1 HMMWV, I called. The Humvee crept across, suspension whispering. No flex we didn't expect. I breathed, then nodded at the deputy. Your move. He jogged across on foot first, checked the bus door and swung it open. The kids came out in a long nervous line, hands on shoulders, shoes slipping. One of them looked up at me halfway across and asked, simple as gravity, "Are you in charge?" Yes, I said. That's all he needed. No triumph music. Just wet socks, mud, and a lot of parents who forgot to be mad about anything else when they got their arms around their kids. That's fine by me. Hype is for people who didn't do the work. We turned over the site to the county, rolled the bridge guard detail and shifted to tear-down plan for tomorrow. The storm had the night. We'd have the morning. A reporter wandered up with a mic wrapped in plastic, careful not to step in the worst puddles. Captain Ortiz, she said, was the failure of the new footbridge a factor in today's risk? I could have said a lot. I didn't. The weather was the factor, I said. Our part of the problem was moving people safely. We did. Accountability doesn't mean you volunteer a headline. It means you own your lane and keep your team out of the spotlight unless they want it. Then the inspector from the state, punctual in the way only people with clipboards can be, arrived. He walked the cracked abutment, peeled back a corner of spalled concrete and frowned with his whole face. He asked for the as-built drawings. My brother went pale around the mouth. I didn't plan what came next. I didn't need to. Numbers speak for themselves. The inspector found the wrong grade of rebar listed on the invoice. He found anchors set shallow. He found a signature line with a date that didn't match the poor log. It wasn't a dramatic gotcha. It was worse, it was obvious. And obvious things are heavy because everyone could have seen them sooner. My father wanted to talk to me then. Not as a councilman, he dropped the voice, but as a dad who finally realized the ground was different under his feet than he'd thought. Naya, he said softer, we can handle this privately. We can't, I said. I wasn't elected to anything. I don't cover for you and you don't cover for me. That's how it should have been the whole time. He looked older in the rain. Maybe he finally was. My brother opened his mouth like a rule he'd counted on had gone missing. That happens when people mistake approval for gravity. I didn't stick around for the press conference. I wrote my after-action review in the back of the Humvee instead. What we did, what we'd do again, where we were lucky. We weren't perfect. We were prepared. There's a difference. That night at the fairgrounds, the food trucks reopened the windows they'd slammed shut. My soldiers ate too many fries because we'd burned through lunch. A kid from the bus walked up to our table and set a damp drawing next to my tray. Stick figures on a gray scribble of rain. A long skinny bridge. Beside it, someone in a square hat and big boots. That you? I asked. He nodded. I made your boots too big, he said. Boots are important, I said. Good detail. He grinned. Months passed. The inspection turned into hearings. Contracts got reviewed. My father resigned before the vote. My brother hired a lawyer and a PR firm. I didn't post about it. My team rotated to a new training cycle and then to a place where the dust gets into your teeth and you can't say much about the work even if you want to. We built things. We took some apart. We sent sitreps twice a day and slept when there was nothing left to plan. When I did make it home again, I didn't knock on my parents' door. I walked Main Street with my platoon sergeant and bought coffee from the same shop where I used to do homework. The owner slid a cup across the counter on the house and said, "I'm glad it was you out there. That's enough applause for a lifetime." Here's the truth I wish I'd learned sooner. Respect isn't granted by people who need you small. It's built piece by piece in the rain with a lot of quiet pins nobody counts but you and the folks sweating next to you. Family can be blood. It can also be a squad that'll hand you a thermos when your hands won't stop shaking and a kid who draws your boots too big. Both versions count. One of them doesn't require you to shrink. I'm not angry anymore. Anger is fuel and you don't run heavy equipment on fumes. What I keep is standard. Plan. Prep. Execute. Sis. Take the call when it comes. Don't overtalk the win. Sign the log. Own the mistake. Raise your hand when it's your lane. Put the bridge down where it needs to be and then get out of the way so people can cross. If you've ever had to prove your worth in the one place that should have known it first, I see you. Maybe you did it loud. Maybe you did it with a checklist and a wrench. Either way it counts. And if you're still standing on the near bank, water chewing the dirt at your feet, here's what I can tell you from the other side. You don't need their permission to span the gap. You just need a plan and the nerve to carry it. The rest, respect, titles, applause if you like that kind of thing, shows up eventually. The bridge is the point. The crossing is the proof.